Hey guys, it's Erev Shabbos, and we did not have the chance to film in the barber shop this week, but I just want to get a few things in. We don't want to skip any weeks, we want to be consistent. So here we go. Okay, so Parshas Lech Lecha. It says there's 4 reasons for why Hashem told Avraham to go, right? To get up from his place and to go. First reason was because the people in his city were belittling him. They were humiliating him. They would laugh at him because of him saying that there was a God, and they were just saying he's a big sorcerer, and therefore Hashem told him, you don't deserve to, well, rather they don't deserve to have him there, but he doesn't need to undergo that. He can go somewhere else. Number 2, since his father was a Rasha, he was a wicked man. He sold idols, and people who serve idols are considered like they're not alive because they're not serving a live God. They're not connected to a God who's alive, so therefore it's like as if they're not alive. And then the third reason, I really like this one a lot because it's just beautiful. It says to let everyone know who Avraham is, because then he was in a place where he wasn't appreciated. And the mashal, the example that's given here is like, imagine you have this amazingly good smelling substance that's very good smelling, but it's closed up, so you can't smell it, and it's hidden in a cemetery. So no one's ever going to get to see or smell how special it is. Therefore, Hashem wanted him to go, out to leave his place so that he can go around and everyone could see how special he was, and that people could appreciate him. And what that means is obviously that people did not appreciate his holiness and his greatness. And when he went throughout the world, people started to understand how great he was and that he was right in his service of Hashem. The fourth reason, I think this one's brought in Rashi, is in order to cancel, to nullify a bad decree. In other words, this was a test to see if Avram would leave everything that's familiar to him. And that way, I guess there was a decree that he wouldn't have a son. That's what the whole idea of mazel, right? And that we are higher than mazel. So when he listened to Hashem, that was like him passing a test, and therefore he was able to have a child. And that's actually what it says. Lech Lecha, Lamed Chaf twice is 100, right? Lamed is 30, Chaf is 20, that's 50, and it's Lech Lecha. So that's 30 and 20 twice. That's 100. So that's a hint that at 100 years old, he would have a child because of Lech Lecha, because he passed his test of leaving. In general, it's just an incredible lesson for life. So often we're stuck in what we're familiar with because we're scared to go into the unfamiliar. And the Parsha is saying that when a person is ready to venture out into the unfamiliar, that's vehei bracha. That's where you have incredible brachas. There's another inyan here that I really like, is that one of the interpretations of why Hashem telling him to go is that if he would be on the road and he would having his tent and he would be having guests, as we know he did, there would be a lot of costs. And Hashem said, don't worry about that, because I'm going to give you so much bracha and people will love you so much. They'll always want your what's good for you, and there's going to be so much bracha, you don't have to worry about that. You're going to be very wealthy. And then it says something very interesting. It says Mevarachecha, which is plural, those who bless you, plural meaning many people will bless you, I will give a blessing. But umekalelcha, it doesn't say umekaleleka, which would mean plural. It says umekalelcha, that only one person will curse you at that time, and that was Nimrod, and Hashem ended up cursing Nimrod. Interesting to actually note that although it was not a good thing, Esav, who was a descendant of Avraham, Esav was Avram's grandson, he ended up killing Nimrod. Not that was the proper thing for him to do, but eventually it was Avram's descendant who actually ended Nimrod's life. Hashem didn't let Avraham know where he was going, and there's two reasons for that. Number one, because when there's a mystery, right, and then you finally figure it out, it increases the happiness and the pleasure of a person once he finds it. So I guess it was to make it that when Avraham would finally find the place where he was going to be, and that was a very holy place, to increase his joy. And then number two thing is that if you have a destination, so you're just going to a destination that's only one action. But when he doesn't know where he's going, so then every single step he's taking is another step of just trusting in Hashem, which means every single step he takes is another decision to keep on doing what Hashem wants, even though he doesn't know where he's going, because there's no destination. So the next step is the next destination. And so that means that would give Avraham so much more merit for him going to Eretz Yisrael, because instead of it being one destination, it's millions of destinations, millions of steps, right, until he finally got to, I'm guessing it's millions, I don't know, who knows how many steps it actually was, but yeah, to get to Eretz Yisrael. And here's something actually really, really interesting that I never heard before, and that is that Avraham, even though he didn't know he was going to go to Eretz Yisrael, he when he passed by Eretz Yisrael, he wanted to be there. Why? Because when he went into all the surrounding areas that wasn't Eretz Yisrael, he saw people that their only interest was just having a good time, eating, drinking, just chasing pleasure. But when he came to Eretz Yisrael, he saw that the people who lived there were people who had a trade, who were hard workers. And he said, and so therefore he said, when he was in those towns where people were just chasing pleasure, he said, Hashem, please make it that I don't, my portion in this world, my portion of where I'm going to live is not going to be here. My inheritance won't be here. And when he came to Eretz Yisrael and saw that people were working and people were hardworking, so then he said, it should be Hashem's will that this will be the place where I'm going to stay. Actually, in Tehillim, Shir Hamalis, we say it before we bench, before we say the grace after meals, we say Shir Hamalis. And there's a pasuk that says, and so what is explained is that the first part of the pasuk is talking about someone who is used to being, he's pampered, he's spoiled, he's used to, having a life without hard work, and eventually he's going to be the one to cry. He's going to, we had a blackout for a second. Noisei Meshach Hazara means the one who basically he attributes, his self-worth is the fact that he has, important ancestors, that he has important ancestors. So therefore he's not going to be a hard worker, he's not going to make something of himself, and therefore he's going to end up crying. But who's going to be the happy one? The one who carries the bundle on his back, the one who works on himself, the one who understands that he's nothing if he doesn't if he's not a self-made man, if he doesn't work hard on his own, he doesn't rely on his family money or his family prestige. I thought that was a beautiful, beautiful explanation of that pasuk. And it says that actually someone who gets his sustenance from his own work, from his own hard work, the work of his hands, that's actually very precious to Hashem. It's very important in Hashem's eyes. So, like it says, right? Torah im derech eretz. You have to learn, but we also have to do our part in this world, and whatever that means for us individually. We can't be aloof. We have to be in this world and change this world. Anyway, that's it for this week. Have a good Shabbos. By the time you watch this, it's going to be already have a good week. So, looking forward to many more of these, and God willing, Blineder, we're going to do this a little bit more in advance, so that it's a little bit more calm. But I think there were some really nice points just off the beginning of the Parsha, just skimming the top. There's so much richness, and this is just like skimming the surface. We're so lucky that we have Torah, that we have this incredible, infinite gift from Hashem, and let's keep on learning. Love you guys.